Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through the Essendon vs St Kilda game, a really good game in the end, which I believe had an actual scoreless last quarter for both sides, or Essendon only kicked a goal or something like that. It was quite a ridiculous game, and it was a tight game for most of it, and yeah, it was quite annoying as well because I did make a move late on, about 30-40 minutes before kickoff or first bounce, that kind of set me back. I think it was in the end around about 60 or 70k, which would have made a whole lot of my trades a lot easier this week. But so be it. That's the way, I guess, it all goes. But before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So, as you can see here, Prasparkas 109 was a ridiculous game for her. 16, 13, 4 and 6, and 5 free kicks for 2 against, for a 109. And yeah, she just really well-rounded game, and yeah, just didn't really have the, like you can see here with, sadly, with Smith, who I don't, I traded her out instead of Nanskoian, or I butcher that name so much. I traded Nanskoian out, or kept Nanskoian just because I thought with her having 30 more points than Smith last week, she would be a better player to keep. And that didn't prove to be the case, as Smith went 28 points better and had more cash gen. So there's that. I guess it's showing to go for the role rather than the results. And that's something that you can really take from both men's and women's fantasy, is that a player in a better role may be outscored by 1 week, but the general gist is that with a better role, they will outscore the outperformance in week 1 over time. The average sort of regressing to the mean, or whatever you want to say, will mean that those players will outscore the others. And yeah, it just sort of sucked, as that was I think it was in the end somewhere around what was let me just bring this up. What was Nance? She gained 107k, whereas Smith gained, I lost 46k from it. So yeah, that was a bad move. And yeah, 46k would have been enough to get, I think it was like Moffat, and also I think it was to the point where I could have actually, if I look at these trades now, I could have gotten, I think it was Moffat and Whitford, whilst also saving or something, getting Schultz and someone else, and also saving Anthony. But yeah, it is what it is. You make mistakes, you try and learn from them, and yeah. So there's that. So Prasparkas 109, Too Good 81. She had a really good marking game, Too Good, and that seems to be the way she runs it. And that's the way she gets her points. I just don't like her compared to, we have Gardner, Malloy, Single, Phillips, and Roberts, and Hall all in the midfield. So those are the girls that you want. And Too Good is a forward that's just really scoring well at the moment, but the role doesn't seem 100% concrete. And if I actually go to here and I go to CBAs, you'll see that looking at Essendon here, where's Too Good? Too Good is nowhere to be seen. So as you can see here, Prasparkas, Kane, Wales, Vogue, Nanskoian, Lone, Scott, and Alexander. No Nanskoian, so I don't like her role in the long term. She may be putting up results now, but I think in the long term she will regress a little bit lower than a lot of the Malloy, Gardner, she might outscore the likes of Phillips across the season, just because she's built up a little bit of an advantage. But she won't outscore Hall and all those other girls that are putting up goals whilst also putting up a really massive non-disposal effort, as well as putting up the disposals that they can, because Hall's putting up, I think, somewhere close to 20-25 touches, which is a good 8 to 10 more than Too Good, but she's also levelling with her on goals and non-disposal points. Alexander 80, Vogue 80, Gee 79, Van der Heuvel 74, Brown 61, Walker 56, Wales 56, Worcester 53, Kane 53, and then I really need to Georgia Nanskoian. Probably butchering that still. Need to actually remember how they say it. But yeah, she conceded like 2 or 3 free kicks in the last quarter. If we go to here, because I don't want to ruin the taking away the actual version of the stats. If we look at the last quarter, and then and that's the wrong game. This game. Then we go fantasy by quarter. You will see, where is she? A 0 point last quarter after 13, 21, 15. And it was only compounded by the fact that Smith had a 14 point last. So if you take the end 2 quarters, 30 and 14 for Smith, and then you put it next to Nanskoian, that's a 21 point gap. And that's basically where the gap was developed. 21 and 15 compared to 18 and 15. I believe she had a tackle taken away or something like that, Nanskoian, in the last as well. And she had this weird play on or something like that, which caused a free kick, which was a 6 point split. And then she had a high shot as well, which got taken, some points taken away from it. It was just a horror show for her in the last. And yeah, I was just looking at it like, yep, this was sort of made to happen, wasn't it, to show. At least I was able to take a massive lesson from that, from a 46k difference. So yeah, in the end, it's probably going to help me in the long term, but in the short term, obviously this week it really does suck knowing that having to take that 46k and basically be limited in my maneuvers. Bannister, Clark, Radford, Scott, Van Loan, Gamble, Bush, Clark, Jax. Jax looks for 39% time on ground. If she can get that up, she actually looks all right. So I'm just having Taylor in there probably just because I want a loophole now for my captaincy, as I will start to also still be able to get enough cash gen through the rest of these. I mean, McDonald probably needs to go to someone because she's not going to grow that much, but I think the rest of these girls, I think Nanskoian still has another 150, 200k at least in her, and that'll enable me to get up to the big hitters, as well as the defense sort of doesn't look that bad, to be honest. I know it was sort of short-sighted in me to sort of just be like, oh, my round is ruined, etc. when I only lost to, I think, the top team by 100. The top team this round, I think, got a 1570. So I was only like 130 points off. So it wasn't terrible. And considering I lost the ruck by 38, there's 40 points there. So that right there gets me to a 1480 if I'd had Schultz. And so that I fixed that mistake. And then I also fixed up, I think it was, did I go Conti in the end? Yeah, I fixed up Conti to row bottom, which should be 40 to 50 points in itself. And Swanson is a tackling beast, and she got tagged by Single really, really well. So there's a potential for Swanson to go back in there and next week and put up a 110 or a 120 or something like that, and really just stake her claim back as one of the big midfielders. And then my midfield's going to be fine. Yeah. So when you immediate, that's one thing also that I'm taking out of this week is, don't immediately be like your team is absolutely screwed. Think of try and find the positives in there. And one of the positives is that I guess I do have my forward line. Yeah, missing Hall really did suck. That did suck, but it wasn't too bad at the end of the day. I mean, I picked the second best option for a forward. I just decided not to move and get Moffat last week, which was probably a mistake as it cost me 45, 50 points. Or just not trying to fix up my ruck line, that really stuffed up. So yeah, it's not the end of the world, and I fixed it up now, and yeah, it should be better this week. That's as simple as honest as that. Moving on to, I guess, St Kilda, we've already talked about them a little bit. Lambert, I think she's got an injury of some sort as well. Live scoring has she finished, I think. She didn't finish on the bench, but yeah, she had a 30-point last, even through, I think she's got some sort of injury. I think it was shoulder or something. Smith, she just tackled her way to a good score. 11 tackles is quite a good output. 7 free kicks for Lambert and 3 against. She got 7 free kicks and still got a negative differential. There was a lot of free kicks in this game. 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20. It was still only 20. And then 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 28. So 28 to 20 free kicks wise is a massive differential, and that's a really big, the free kicks sort of dampened the score a lot. If they could not give away as many free kicks, it'd be good. Not going to lie. So yeah, Smith ended up going 77, Vesely 71, Kelly 66, Priest, although she did go 66, the role is there. And we've been tracking her for a while. And if we go to here and we go to the CBAs, you'll see I did check this beforehand. I'm 99% sure she was 100% CBAs. Whether that is just luck that there was only 14, there was the same amount of CBAs and she just happened to be on the field for that, we don't know. But she was, and Smith as well. You can see the role is blaringly bloody obvious right there, and you can sort of see it. And I guess the CBAs were sort of handed from Lambert when she was injured to Priest. So maybe there was a little bit of the fact that Lambert was off for a little bit that happened to cause Priest to have the 100% CBAs. But I still think she would have held around 80. So I think there is a chance for her to hold around 80 for this year. So we'll wait and see on that one. And yeah, there's that. And then you move Jacobson, McDonald, Patriosk, I think that's how you say it. Nalda, Zenos. Zenos was a good pick not to go for. I just saw that role wasn't there, and it seems like she's returned down to the 30s and 40s that we expect the forwards to produce when they aren't, when they don't get those high tackle games. And yeah, that's sort of what I expected. So I guess on the lookout next week is Stannett, Priest, and there's one other defender. Pound. So for me, looking at next week, it's Pound, DRC, Stannett, and Priest, and looking at their performance and seeing how well they do. As you can see here, I'm gonna guess that their Pound's up there, Stannett's up there, DRC's up there, and Priest is also up there in the top sort of 7 or 8 defenders. So looking at them, and I think next week, if Carney can hold form, then we might hold on to her. But I'm looking at Thomas and even Heads, but Heads did actually really well. And you'll see Heads is averaging 60. So if Heads can get another 70, that'll push her up to probably hold around the same position as she is. But that'll be around the same. But yeah, really looking at that back line and thinking, is there anyone that's going to score ridiculous? And Pound went up 84k, so I expect her, if she puts in another 90 performance, to go up by maybe 110k to 860. And then that'll be enough probably to get rid of her, get rid of like a Thomas or something like that to get onto a Pound, I guess. So that is pretty much the video there, and another long video as I sort of just go on and on and on. But yeah, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in the last review, which will be the I don't even have it here. What is it? The Melbourne GWS game, the smashing that was. But anyway, I'll see you guys in that game. Bye, guys.